Essentially, translation requires a combination of language ability, knowledge related to the subject of the text you are translating, research skills, and good writing ability. You also need to have good intuition about what the source language is trying to say and superior writing skill in the target language to express this. In other words, translation is not simply about switching the words in the source language to the corresponding words in the target language. Every translator has his or her own way of doing a translation. However, for the most part, the process does not vary too widely. Almost all translators pretty much go through the following steps in doing their work. Let's look at step number 1. Check the appearance of the finished translation. Check to make sure the layout is correct. The indents, paragraphs, and spacing are consistent. Make sure the text is aligned throughout in a consistent way. Check to make sure the font is uniform throughout, and if italics were required, that you use them correctly and in the same typeface. While mata is often translated as in addition, in this case, there is no indication that the same airlines are eliminating various services and also charging fees for special seats. So the expression in addition may not be appropriate here. Using furthermore may be better. As the source text is such a long sentence, it is a good idea to break it up into 2 or 3 shorter sentences for clarity. However, in breaking up the sentence into shorter sentences, it would be a good idea to introduce the most important information first, and the explanatory information can follow. The tone of this text is to describe baseball games in general and not a specific game. If you use the past tense, like in these sample sentences, it sounds like you are describing something that actually happened. That is not the case in this text. These sentences are actually giving examples of imaginary situations. In other words, these sentences are describing a conditional situation. So a modal, such as would, could, or might, is needed. Using the abbreviation for IPS cells in the first sentence may not be a good thing. The source text does not introduce the abbreviation until the second paragraph. There may be a reason why the author of the source text chose to use the full name, so I think the English should follow the same flow of information. There are a variety of ways to use a semicolon, but one common usage is to place it before conjunctive adverbs, such as therefore, for example, as a result, and however, when they appear in the middle of a sentence. Sentences that are often written like these should use semicolons and be written like these. Each of these sentences could be written as 2 separate sentences, but connecting them with these conjunctive adverbs creates better continuity. We do not use job titles in place of Mr. or Ms., especially if the name is the full name. Using such job titles in this way is not only difficult and confusing to read, but also an incorrect writing style. The job title should be in lowercase and not capital letters. Now, let's take a look at this letter. It is important to remember, when translating a letter like this one, that it is not just the contents of the letter that you must translate correctly. You must also get the format of the letter right, and you must use the right protocol for the letter.